So in this segment, we're just going to be talking about what is prospecting. As a default here is how most people do it. You get a couple of salespeople and tell them to do what? Since you know sales and you're a sales guy, right? Get started. Go and get from me the people. I mean, you said you know sales, so bring us the people. Go out to the field and get the people. But that is the worst way of doing it. As an organization, it's important you set up your sales structure, your sales prospecting structure to be specific. It's important that as an organization, you first of all understand, yes, as a starter, what does prospecting mean to us? Is it inbound where we're getting leads for these people, or is it outbound? So if it's outbound, where exactly do our people start from? Do they use LinkedIn? Do they go out to the field and walk along the road and get the people? Do they walk and bump into people's offices? Begin to set that as a standard so that people exactly know what to do. So in this segment, we're just going to dive a bit deeper into helping you understand, number one, what is prospecting? And number two, what are some of the best channels of prospecting so that even you too could know how to set it up for your organization. So as a starting point, what is prospecting? Prospecting means this one simple thing. Where are you going to get the leads you're going to talk to? The first thing you need to understand is the mathematics, meaning if you're to get 20 sales, you're probably going to need to get about 100 leads. There is no situation where you're going to get 20 people and think you're going to sell to 20 people. It doesn't exist. So after understanding that, question number two becomes, how exactly do we get these leads? So in this part of the course, I'm just going to be talking about outbound, meaning in the scenario when you are going out to get these leads. Here's how you go about doing this. The first thing you need to understand is you need to get platforms that these people are going to prospect. The three best platforms are, number one, you could use LinkedIn or the LinkedIn Sales Navigator as a second option. LinkedIn is a free option. You can literally search any industry and say, maybe I'm looking for all sales managers in this country. And after you have clicked that search phrase, LinkedIn will bring you a list of who the possible sales managers are in that country. The second platform you could use to prospect is something like Google. Google provides a ton of information. Now, if you're looking for small business owners, literally go out onto Google. I'll show that right here. And inside there, you can search for the industry and say, I'm looking to sell to circles, for example. And it's going to bring you a list of all the circles in the country. And the beauty about Google Maps, using Google Maps as a platform, is in addition to bringing you the location of where it is, it's in most scenarios also brings you a phone number that you can call to. So if you're selling to smaller enterprises, small and mid-sized enterprises, in most scenarios, you could even find the owner's number right there. So you could use that as a second platform. The third platform, which is the most effective in my opinion, you could use the Monkey Pesa prospecting tool. It's a huge database of over 1.8 million businesses. You could literally just search for the business, and after you search for the business, it will bring you, number one, the names of the decision makers, number two, the email addresses of the decision makers, and number three, which is the most important for the African market, the phone numbers of these decision makers. So step number one, you've literally set the targets. Maybe each of you, I want you to get 100 contacts or 200 or 300, whatever the number it is. Then step number two, you have even showed your employees that in order to get these leads, go here, go here, go here. It stems from you as the business owner or as you as the sales manager to set this structure for them, because them coming and figuring out is literally you setting your company up for disaster. And step number three is where now you need to follow up. You need to understand that if you've set a specific target, at the end of the day, you're supposed to keep reviewing the phone calls that have been made. Go back into the system and check that today we set a target of 50 phone calls. Who have you called today? Go the next day and still do the same thing. And by doing this, you're creating a habit where your people are not only able to prospect, but in addition to that, you're still able to know if they're doing their work right. And that's my best tip for how to do prospecting.